Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we shall be talking about the compactness criteria. So here we have a theorem which give you this criteria. The theorem here states that if x and y be two normed spaces and t from x to y be a linear operator, then T is compact if and only if it maps every bounded sequence in X onto a sequence Txn. That means suppose in the space X you are having a sequence x1, x2 up to so on, like this, xn and so on. So then what do? You have an operator from the space x to y, you apply t onto all of these elements. So you have another sequence t of x1, t of x2 and so on, like this, t of xn and so on. So this sequence of t of xn present in y, it has a convergent subsequence. Now this theorem sometimes is also treated as another definition for compact operators, because here in this case we have if and only criteria. So that means if this thing is true, that means every bounded sequence is in X, if that is being mapped to another sequence Txn in Y, if that sequence has a convergent subsequence, then the operator T is compact. And if the operator T is compact, then for every bounded sequence xn in X, we have the operator T maps this bounded sequence to another sequence Txn in Y, which has a convergent subsequence. So moving on to seeing the proof for this theorem, we first prove we assume that the operator T is compact, this part. So we will prove that for every bounded sequence xn in X, there is a sequence Txn in Y which has a convergent subsequence. So here for the assumption part, we assume T to be compact, the sequence xn to be bounded, and then we have to prove Txn in Y has a convergent subsequence. Now because T is compact, then the closure of Txn in Y is compact, because this is a bounded sequence, right? So this using the definition, this you already knew, a metric space X is said to be compact if every sequence in X has a convergent subsequence. Moreover, a subset M of X is said to be compact if M is compact considered as a subspace of X, that is, every sequence in M has a convergent subsequence whose limit is an element of M. So that means taking the closure of Txn in Y to be compact, we say that it has a convergent subsequence according to this particular result, right? So using this result over here, we can say that the sequence Txn that contains a convergent subsequence. So this part was quite easy. So this proved this first part. Given T compact, for every bounded sequence in X, we have another sequence Txn in Y which is a convergent subsequence. Now to prove the converse here, we assume this thing. For the converse, we assume that every bounded sequence xn contains a subsequence xnk such that T of xnk converges in Y. And we have to prove T as a compact operator. So here, to show T to be a compact operator, what do? We will prove that for any set B in X, which is a bounded set, the closure of T of B is compact, right? So this is what we have to prove. For compact set, we will prove that the closure T of B is closed as well as bounded. So for that, we start with taking some subset B from X, which is a bounded subset, right? So corresponding to a bounded subset here, we consider a sequence yn in T of B, the image of this bounded set for the operator T. Then we can define yn to be T of xn for some xn contained in B, right? So we can, from here we can say that the sequence xn is bounded. This is also known to us, and since B is bounded, therefore the sequence is bounded here. This is one thing. Another thing, because we assume that in this case the sequence Txn contains a convergent subsequence, hence the set TB closure is compact because the sequence yn in TB was taken as arbitrary sequence. Why this is so? Again, using the result that if a metric space X, for a metric space which is said to be compact, every sequence in X has a convergent subsequence. Moreover, a subset M of X is said to be compact if M is compact, considered as a subspace of X. That is, every sequence in M has a convergent subsequence whose limit is an element of M. Hence, we say the operator T is compact. So this is what we wanted to prove here for this particular theorem. So this theorem, remember, is treated as the definition for compact operators in many cases. Now moving further, let's see what happens when we have a space which is finite dimensional. So before proceeding to finite dimensional space, let's talk about these three remarks here. The first remark tell you that if you take the sum of two compact linear operators, the sum is also compact. If you take some compact operator T1 and you multiply that by some number which could be real or complex, then that multiplication is also compact. Moreover, the space which is created by taking operators from the space X to the space Y, so the space consisting of all those operators defined from the space X to Y which are compact in nature, they form a vector space. So this is an important remark here. Okay, moving further, for finite dimensional space, let's see what happens. So we have a theorem giving this criteria over here. So according to this theorem, if X and Y represent two normed spaces and T from X to Y be a linear operator, then what can we say about the compactness? Then T is bounded if T is bounded and the dimension of T of X, that means the range of this operator T of X, if that is finite, then the operator T is compact. So this is the first part. In the second part, if the dimension of the space X that is finite, then the operator T is compact. So you see, if your domain space is finite in nature, then straight away you can say that the operator T is a compact linear operator. So moving further to see the proof here, for the first part, we assume that T is bounded and that the dimension T of X is finite. We have to prove T as a compact operator. So in order to prove compact operator, what do? We take some sequence in X which is a bounded sequence, and we show that for when we map this sequence to another sequence in Y as Txn, that sequence is containing a convergent subsequence. So if that is so, the corresponding operator T would become compact by the result that we have just seen above. Okay. So here, first of all, we assume that Xn as any bounded sequence in X, right? So if this is a bounded sequence, that means its bound would be finite number. Bound of all the elements belonging to this sequence is finite. So that if you take the bound of Txn by the properties of norm, you could write this to be less than equal to the norm of T multiplied by the norm of Xn. Now, because T is given to be bounded, therefore the norm here, the norm of T is finite. This is less than infinity. And the norm of Xn, because this is a bounded sequence, is also less than infinity. So therefore the product, the overall norm for Txn, that is also a finite number. So if this norm is finite, therefore the sequence defined by Txn, that should be bounded. So this is one thing. So that means for a bounded sequence Xn in X, we have another sequence Txn in Y which is also bounded. Hence, we say because the dimension of space X is finite, therefore the sequence Txn, that is relatively compact. How? Using the following result. Because in any finite dimensional normed space, any subset M of the space X is compact if and only if M is closed and bounded. Right? So using this result, because here the set is bounded and it is closed, so therefore this is compact. And moreover, the sequence Txn has a convergent subsequence. Why? Why this has a convergent subsequence? You can think on this point and then find out why the sequence Txn here is a convergent subsequence. Okay, moving further, because we considered the sequence Xn as bounded sequence which was arbitrary in nature, arbitrary bounded sequence in X, the corresponding operator T is compact because for any bounded sequence, according to the theorem that we have just studied above, for every bounded sequence Xn in X which maps this sequence for the operator T, which maps this sequence onto another sequence Txn in Y, so that sequence has a convergent subsequence. If that happens, which happens in our case, therefore we say T is compact. Right? So this is for the part A. For the part B, we are to show that if given the dimension of X to be finite, the operator T is compact. Right? So for part B, we have to prove T is compact, and we assume the dimension of X to be finite. If dimension of X is finite, that means according to the following result, T is bounded. For a normed space X which is finite dimensional, then every linear operator on X is bounded. So therefore, because the dimension here is finite, T is bounded. And if T is bounded, and you already know the dimension of Tx is less than dimension of X, right? This result is trivial and is obtained from linear algebra, and because it is given, this is the dimension of X is finite, therefore dimension of Tx is also finite. So using this result, we obtained at the assumptions for part A, and from the assumptions and using part A, we can say that the corresponding operator here is compact. So I hope you understood this concept and the compactness criteria. I'll see you in the next video.